long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Rebellion and the Empire continue their war. The balance of the Force lies in chaos. The ancient order of the Cannibalen has bravely fought the Dark Empire, but the forces of evil continue to push back with no mercy. The Order, joined by their brothers in arms, the Tigers of Tigra, are pursued relentlessly by the evil Darth Hater and his army of stormtroopers. The Empire has rebuilt its ultimate weapon, the Doom Box.
Vader, it's an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence.
You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. I'm here to put you back on schedule.
I assure you, Lord Vader, my men are working as fast as they can.
Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them.
I tell you, this station will be operational as planned.
The Emperor does not share your optimistic appraisal of the situation.
But he asks the impossible.
Then perhaps you can tell him when he arrives.
Protection.
Alright, what's up everybody, and welcome to the Weekly Dagger. I am your host, BisuDagger, of course, on the microphone, and we are up to number 15 in the weeklies. Yes, it's been a great amount of time that I have been casting, many years now, and consistently I've been casting since this past summer, and that has been awesome. The only times that I've actually taken pauses, and you may think, oh, 15 weeks, well, that's nothing. I had several weeklies before that I didn't count into the weekly series, and then besides that, I casted the ASL 1, and now I am casting Africa Star League Season 2, which keeps me pretty busy. So you can imagine that if I'm already casting 2 to 3 different ASL League casts per week, and then I need to do one or at least one, maybe two weekly daggers each week, it gets to be a lot of casting. No one's putting in more hours than I am to give you guys your Brood War content. So I really appreciate you guys coming in here and supporting me. So actually, if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm actually fidgeting with my watch trying to get that all asphyxiated there. And so let me tell you, coming into the new year, we're going to be watching more Africa Star League Season 2. I will have all of the Round of 8 down to the finals cast with you guys on my Africa channel, so you'll be able to find me at the ASL 2, ENG2 for Africa Star League 2 English 2 stream. And on top of that, I am going to be doing Fight Club starting at the end of January. Big updates coming tomorrow. So you're going to know what the new maps are that are going to be provided with Fight Club, so that's going to be exciting. And then on top of that, I will figure out and post up when the sign up is going to happen, where do you sign up, and what are going to be the actual rules and regulations for the people that are applying. Because I saw, well, people say maybe I'm not A class in Icy Cup, but I do really well in Fish. Where can we find an equal rating? And so I'm going to get with my my brain trust I've got some people on the side that are going to help advise me in terms of who we're going to accept and not accept into Fight Club itself. So we're going to make this as crisp and as fun and as elite as possible. Best of 9s every week. Are you kidding me? And these are going to be really, really fun players. I am going to be planning special interviews. I'm going to have guest casters. This is going to be my baby, my treasure of 2017, until I actually have my own real life baby. I'm just going to be casting Brood War balls to the walls. It's going to be awesome. So today, guess what? Africa Star League, let me go to my wiki page here. Africa Star League is going to have the first round of 8 match, Bisu versus C, January 2nd. And so, yes, that's going to be the first Brood War competitive games of 2017. I know there is that other random league that just popped up out of nowhere. What's that dratted thing called? The SBB Star League. It came out of nowhere, so I haven't been able to cover that. But yeah, there are actually games that are going to be played in about 8 hours for the SBB Star League. So go ahead and show some support for that. But the main event, the Africa Star League Season 2, will start off with a PVT. And then there will also not just be Bisu versus C, but Flash versus Gwimchi in the round of 8. So 2 PVTs, which is making me think, okay, since we're going to run into that matchup first, let's go ahead and do a deep dive, figure out more about this matchup, and make it a little bit more educational than just me screaming at you for the next 2 hours, which I'm sure you guys do enjoy, but we're just going to keep it a little bit more real today. How's that sound? I got together with Scan just an hour ago because that's how prepared I always am for my casts, just an hour in advance, and I said, hey, you know, what can you do for me? And so he was able to wrestle up 3, actually a 4th one is kind of the bonus one, but 3 really solid PVTs that we can learn from. And it's going to be versus Tyson, versus Lazy, and then he gave me a replay, this is only Star, and he goes, this one's a Bisu. And I went, I know, Scan, I know. And you are so good to me, Scan, thank you so much. Everybody thanks you for giving us a TvP. So we will have that really high level TvP with Bisu, and we'll be able to highlight his play. And you know what? Last week I casted a TvP of Bisu versus Last, and he lost to a very strong 5-fact play. And it was just a little bit demoralizing for me because I was just like, wow, he lost to that really, really easily. But no, when you see how well he played in his group stage, where Last actually ended up losing 1-2. Bisu played some pretty solid PVT there, so he still has it. And C is just going to give him a run for his money. These two have the best matchup, really, really exciting when they play against each other. So despite the fact that there may be a disparity where Bisu has more wins than C in live matches, I think that these two really match up pretty well. So I hate to see people in the LR threads completely underestimating C and overrating Bisu. Despite the fact that Bisu did have impeccable micro, I still think that C has such a solid handle on TvP for so long that these maps are going to play out really well for him. And some of the notes that I was getting from Scan here, I push buttons. Welcome to the stream. Thank you. I definitely love when you guys post some stuff up in the comments. I will try and answer your questions and talk to you guys. This is going to be a very conversational cast too, because there will be things that I miss. I don't see everything the same way that programmers see it. So sometimes when I'm talking with Scan about replays, and he'll just he'll say something, and it'll be so simple that you're like, that makes 100% sense. Why didn't I put that thought together in my brain? Why didn't I think of this and articulate it the way that you put it out so simply? So that's like a beautiful art. That's why Light, while he's not the best top StarCraft player, Light is a really good teacher, and he's a really good person to articulate what you're actually seeing on the screen. And he can break it down to you and what makes sense, the 1, 2, 3 style manner. And so that's what I really love about different players, especially like Scan, who is able to communicate with me. And so what he was saying is that C is going to play safely on 3 to 4 player maps, do the normal style 2-1 upgrades, and then try and plan for that 200 army attack. Whereas he thinks on 2-player maps like Benzene, which has been a very popular map, it's going to be played on. In fact, I haven't looked at the map order yet here. Wow. So Benzene will be played I guess that's the 4th map here. You have Eye of the Storm, which is a 4-player map. Demian, I believe, yeah, so it should be a 4-player map. Or 3-player map there too. So maybe this would be one of the ones considered as a smaller map, where he's going to do more of quicker timings, 3 to 5 tanks, and do some early game pressure, which I don't doubt, because C always, when I watch him beat Bisu, it's earlier in the game. It's earlier when he can have those early, 2-fact timings that are really strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see C take a couple games off Bisu, where he wins them earlier. Not rushes, not cheeses, but off a 2-base play. Versus, in these long games where recalls start to get crazy. Although on Circuit Breaker, that's going to be the game to watch. Both those players have played ad nauseum amount of games against each other. Okay, so since it's going to be TvP, let's just go ahead and get ourselves warmed up with the first game here. So there's not too much data for this first game. And so I'll read my notes first out loud to you, because all Scan really adds to his notes here for this first game is that for Terran, you can play a blind 4 factories if you know the opponent's playstyle well. Well, we don't know anything about Tyson and what his playstyle is. We're going into this blank. Obviously, Tyson has been a pretty competitive player. He's taken some pretty cool wins off of even the great Flash himself, so he is a great PvTer at times. And so we can know that Tyson definitely has some high skill level, but is he predictable? Let's see what 4-fact is actually going to counter, and kind of keep an eye on both sides and where we actually want to pay attention here. Okay, so weekly number 15, we're going to go with Tyson versus Scan. Okay, I can kind of put these notes down to the side. Want to make sure that I switch over here to scene number 1. Okay, that looks good so far. Oh man, I am always so absent-minded when it comes to the technical side. My technical game is not that great. I'm going to have to step it up over the next month so Fight Club can look really spiffy. I'm going to have some sick overlays going down at the bottom. It's going to look sharp. I got V1 who's going to help me out, and maybe some banner stuff when people decide to follow or donate, which if you guys want to donate towards Fight Club, that's always welcomed. Any amount of dollars will help us get to our target goal of 15 weeks. I am funding all 10 weeks of Fight Club. The only way to extend it is to get donations though. So what we're going to be watching here, let's focus now on both these players here, and of course the first pylon going to come out. So this is what I'm going to assume. These are going to be standard games. We don't have to really speculate and think, okay, is there going to be a rush? Is there going to be anything out of the ordinary here? We are going to be looking on Fighting Spirit 2, and I know that you guys know this map. I know it. But let's go ahead and just see the overall reveal here too, because it's just kind of important for you to refresh your memory on what this overall layout is going to look like. This is a cross spawn position here, and so this is just a real fortunate position, especially if the Terran player did want to go for a 14cc and get up that faster command center here. Instead, what Scan's doing is just opening up a very safe barracks expand. And because he knows that unless his Protoss opponent does do some goofy like 2-gate play out in the middle of the map, this is just going to be fine for him to defend against. It creates a nice little wall here, and eventually he could actually add a bunker. You know, typically you would see this kind of a layout too if you were a Terran player playing against Zerg. To prevent the Zerglings from running in. But I guess it's kind of like a slow Zealot safe type opening too. But there's really a lot of a variety where I think Terran players just kind of build their buildings out the way they feel and most comfortably fits with them. But you see the command center is going to be nice and snug up against this supply depot here, and opening up for Tyson here, and don't get thrown off, Sinhai, however you're going to pronounce that, is going to be Tyson's AKA on fish. And there's a whole list on Liquipedia if you guys aren't familiar with the fish names. So with the gas mining already, the Cybernetics core, it's going to be this range opening coming out. And still, again, pretty standard so far. We want to keep an eye on Terran for the most part, because Terran is where you start to get those big differences early on. I would be like, well, we could fast forward and start to get to the good stuff, but that's not really what we're trying to accomplish here. We want to see different things like how many SCVs are we going to see on this gas as soon as it finishes up. How many SCVs are going to get transferred over here? Probably about half. The bunker does come out. And like I said, so it just kind of spreads out. This bunker covers the most area. You really always want to just put your bunker in the middle here. And there's no other tactical advantage besides the fact that it's just helping to build a wall and putting it in the middle. Not too much else to scrutinize over. So we can see that 3 SCVs were tossed right over to this refinery, starting to add on to this gas here. And it's relatively low compared to Protoss, because this is just a super mineral heavy economical opening. Then, you know, the best way to get out massive amounts of SCVs early on in the game is to just go for that RAS expand. 14cc is the super risky opening, but you can just be a little bit more patient, get that barracks out, and still remain safe. So the first 150 gas, or I'm sorry, the first 100 gas was already out here. The factory on its way. And now another factory is coming out too. You can see 2 fact. And Scan opened up with saying, so four factories is going to be the blind response to what Tyson is going to do. And he's just going for really safe 1 gate expand. And are we missing any other buildings here? No, that looks pretty standard here. I just want to make sure. So just a couple pylons thrown down. The robotics facility obviously also up here too. And so when you go gate Robo Nexus or Nexus Robo, it just allows you to get towards that observer tech and be really vulture safe, spider mine safe, and allow you to scout out your opponent. Especially since it's going to be really hard for him to just go ahead and barge a unit right down through the throat of Scan's space. So with range done, 3 Dragoons out, and that's also what you can do. You can actually get a decent amount of Dragoons out off 1 gate. I think sometimes it's almost surprising how efficient Protoss players are off 1 gate. But you really don't have to be scared. As long as you know that your opponent is going to open economical, there's no risk and you just sacrificing the ability to produce more. And taking up is so much more important here. So right now we're at 5 minutes of 44 seconds into the game, and let's give our assessment here. So 3 Nexi now. This one's just starting to warp in. You can see how fresh it is. Look at that just slither of load bar coming in here. And so this is showing what you can do. A passive Terran. And hey, KT Flash, what's up? And I heard there was something traitorous, like you don't think Flash is good or gonna win anymore in the Africa Star League. Why is the whole map revealed? This is just our opener of a PVT, and we're doing a deep dive into this matchup. And this is Scan versus Tyson here. But if it makes you unsettled, I can unreveal the map at this point. Does that make you feel better? Let's go for that. So anyway, there's 3 Nexi here. The observatory's done. The first observer is actually starting to warp in. So in 6 minutes, you can start your 3rd base, have 2 gateways, range done, observers, and actually have 3 Dragoons out to be attacking this bunker at the front. That's a lot that you can do in the early game. Don't think that it's just this massive puzzle. You can get a lot out as long as you're efficiently making probes and constantly making buildings and making use of your economy here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Terran, the Turtle Terran, which is always the case here in the early game. If, in 6 minutes you don't usually see an additional command center being built, that'd be absolutely outrageous. But 2 refineries. The 2nd refinery done, and it's really important that this refinery is finished up, because we are going to see that it will be heavy tanks. And just by show of the fact that there's 2 machine shots built here. And it's not just to like pump out all of these vulture upgrades. It's seriously about being able to get a lot of tanks out here. Oh, and what about this hat here? This is a lovely hat. So my mom got me this hat, and it's from Amsterdam. It's like legit from Amsterdam. When it says that around here too, I'm sure you can't actually read the name here. And then this is all the money that you guys donate went into these glasses. They cost $1, which is why I kept the tag on, because it's going to be really important that I just wear things once and return them, because I wouldn't want to waste money, would I? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just being cool. Tags on your clothing is really, really cool. Okay, so we have resumed here. So it's constant tanks. No, this isn't made out of weed. This is a normal hat. God, yeah, you guys are great at distracting me. This is the warm-up game anyway. This is just a warm-up. Let me tell you what. We've got so many good games to come from. A TvP versus Lazy, a TvP versus Bisu, and then a really cool game that's just going to wrap things up because I want to yell a ton. Let me add some water in here. Alright. It would be cool if it was made out of weed, though. I could just light it up, smoke the hash right out of my hat. But then I wouldn't have a warm head anymore, would I? It's Florida. There's no cool air. It's always hot. Okay, so what we've got here is, let's look at the Dragoon count. Up to 7 Dragoons right now, 37 probes, and 40 probes by the time that this Nexus warps in is pretty standard. So that's your goal. That is a legit, really good goal right here, is to have roughly 40 probes. You see 39. Let's keep an eye on it. And another probe is going to bounce out soon enough here too. Meanwhile, we're up to 40 SCVs too. So it's a good similar goal. Look at this though. Actually, 2 SCVs have been cut from this refinery. And the extra factories have been added on. This engineering bay, obviously, just for turrets. Not going to be getting upgrades out of that. But this is transitioning into 5 factory. The notes from Scan said blind 4 factories, but you know what? He's actually adding on a 5th here, so we're just going to call this a 5-factor build instead. Okay, but what he has out of this, with this push out, because I want to make sure that we understand what he actually has. So 6 Marines have been built in this first 7 minutes and 38 seconds, 5 tanks, 7 vultures, and 3 spider mines. So 5 tanks got pumped out of just these 2 factories. And then he started to add in vultures afterwards, after he made sure he got the tanks out. Just to make sure he continues to make sure the tank count is high. It's going to be important for him as he pushes out here to be able to grab siege up and hold key positions here. This is really tough though, because there is a nice spread of units here. Tyson actually, you know, spreading these Dragoons out really well, but getting some unlucky hits with those vultures and spider mines. And so the Dragoons are actually going down pretty easily here. And this is just a lot of Terran power coming out right now. No upgrades so far for either player. And then this straight up matchup, this is where Tyson fails, is because he doesn't have a lot of zealots in with his army. And so he can't face off against this too well. It's just pure Dragoons, and the Dragoons are getting worked up right now. Their AI is having tons of trouble with the vultures that are running in, and Scan is playing a really solid game so far. So Scan's cleared out the army, and immediately he knows that he's going to want to try and jet the vultures up here. And if there's a hole, if there's a way, if he had actually a spider mine here, he could glitch his vulture through. But no, a pylon has been added in at this point, and Tyson's gonna play it safe here at the top. But these tanks are vicious right now. There's not a lot for Tyson to reply with, because he just finished up all these gateways. So he knows that he needs to put these gateways in here to be able to you know, re-macro with a decent sized army. But the problem is, you'd think 150 times 5 at this point, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of minerals that you have to just sink in, and then you have the warp in time of these gateways, which makes it even harder for you just have that still moment where nothing really is getting made, and then you can start to pump out quite a bit. So now you can see that zealots are coming out. I want to see behind this too. Let's see. Is the leg upgrade done? Forge is warping in too. Let's see if the first zealot comes out, if leg enhancements has been researched at this time. Meanwhile, this hole is about to be formed right now, and these Dragoons are really going to have to be worth their salt, hold off these vultures here that are going to try and run in. But this is just going to be constant macro coming from Scan. I mean, this is disgusting. Look at this. Every factory queued up off these 5 factories. So you're getting 3 vultures and 2 tanks extremely quick at this point. And that's going to be tough to deal with, especially since the 3rd base is getting knocked on by this Terran army. So the Zealots are slow Zealots. It's not like he was able to crunch out that upgrade yet either. And the Zealots at slow speed aren't worth too much either, because it takes them a real long time to get in here. Imagine if the Zealot got right on the spider mine. That would have been a lucky kill for him here too. Tyson has been trying to focus down some of these spider mines here, but the vultures, there's just way too many of them right now, and he's not really able to adequately deal with it. Behind this, it's just really small amounts of units that are coming out scattered too. It's not like they're all synced up, and that's one of the major problems too. That you have to send like 2 at a time, 3 at a time. Meanwhile, these tanks just take out loads of them with their splash damage. Behind this though, this command center has been started up. So 10 minutes, this 5-fact timing with pressure coming out here too. Just think this is probably about a minute and a half ago, right? Let's say the 9-minute mark that this command center was coming up. So start thinking about that too. If you're really successful as a Terran player, if you have your 5 factories, everything looking secure. Now, one of the big things that Scan has overlooked at this point in the game is the scans itself. I mean, literally his name, and he doesn't have concept stations, so he skipped the academy. I don't see it anywhere, and that's one of those key things where he's just scraping away with putting minerals only into units. So if there happened to be a DT switch here, just 1 DT, 2 DTs, even turrets have been completely foregone at this point. So the data has been mined here from Tyson. He has this observer inside this base. He sees that there's this real lack of vision. But the problem is he's not able to take that moment and go, huh, I could actually maybe pull something crazy off here. And if I can just kind of stall this pressure here and get the get a DT out, that would work out. But it's an expensive investment. And the problem is, Tyson is also probably thinking, well, I'm on 3 bases now. I'm going to be eventually getting up to Arbiters. That's what I want to save my money for. But a Templar Archives does have to be built. We don't see it yet here. I mean, it's not like there's one built in the natural base here. So eventually, Templar Archives is going to have to be built, and Scan is just going to have to be on top of it as a Terran player to make sure that he does throw down the turrets and throw down the Academy at a proper point in this game. I think the Academy is going to follow once this 3rd base is secure here. But Tyson, he's trying to take a strategical advantage by coming from the back again. There's not a quick round of reinforcements here. So the Dragoons, if they can micro in, should be able to get towards these vultures here. But because the tanks are only damaging these pylons, which are spread out here, Tyson is just going to stall off on trying to engage against the army here. 5 Dragoons, here, and now he's got another set at the top. It's really just Dragoon heavy because the Zealots don't have speed. Again, I think that's one of those important things that Tyson hasn't been able to afford at this point in the game. He's investing so much and losing so much. And another round of tanks and vultures clear out everything out on the map. So behind this, the upgrades have just started. And yeah, okay, so +1 will be on the way. Let's see if there's going to be another armory in here. I don't see another armory. So with that being said, just turrets. So Scan knows that he is weak, obviously, to detection, and throws down at least a scan at his 3rd base. This is a heavy eco base too. It's not one that can easily be as secure as the natural main base right now, since he's just going full out with his army. So I like that. Just throw down 1 single turret. It covers the area enough, and maybe he could build another turret as that one gets taken out, if that becomes the scenario. But again, he's just found this one position here. The tanks don't actually hit the nexus from the top right area of this ramp. And I think if they get snug with the doodad right here, or I guess, do we call the trees doodads too? I think so. And the ramp, you might be able to hit the southern point of that nexus. Okay, but here come the drops again. The Zealots, they take down the front tank, but that's not going to be enough. I would have liked to have seen Tyson drop a Zealot here and a Zealot here to just kind of split out the fire, but I think he was just trying to get the 3 tanks to fire on the first one. But in that case, just use 1 Zealot at a time. This is a lot of army that's been lost here. I wonder if Tyson's getting exhausted or feeling that he's lost a grip of this game. But behind this, knowing that he's going to eventually lose this 3rd base, he's knocked up a 4th base here. And really, at the 12-minute and 43-second timing, you should have a 4th and almost be working on a 5th. But because it's 5-back timing, this is just a really late 4th because you put everything you can into defending instead of thinking about eco. What is that explosion there? Let's look at the play. That was just kind of cool looking. But behind this, still no technological advances. Just 3 more gateways that have been dropped down. So both these players are kind of sitting at a standstill in terms of units. You know, we're not seeing Scan going for Starport, trying to get Science Vessel, because he doesn't need to. And a good Terran player is always going to respond with a Starport once they feel like a Stargate is available and Arbiters are going to start coming into play. All right, so this is just a massacre here from Scan. He's just laying it on Tyson here at the 12 o'clock base. Behind it, now Starport. Well, I guess I was speaking early here, and I guess it's slightly premature. But he knows that he's going to need a Starport, and getting a dropship out, getting the add-on and getting the dropship out can be pretty beneficial too. So that may be his play at this point, knowing that Science Vessels and a Science Facility isn't quite needed yet. Scans are out though. He finally did get that Academy. He just added it in a little bit later. And it's pretty clear cut with his scans. He can see inside the main base, and he knows that he really doesn't need anything else. And this was a really good black and white game from Scan, where he was able to go to that 5-fact timing, and Protoss was unable to punish it. Alright, so that was our basic start for this PvT day, and guys, hope you're enjoying this. I'm coming off a cold. I felt pretty terrible earlier this week. I actually couldn't cast one of the Africa Star Leagues because I literally lost throat power. I was in a car for 9 hours, just snot spewing everywhere. The images were terrible. It was not fun. What's the blue thing? This is a tag. This is the tag for the sunglasses. All right, let me prepare for the next game, which is important, right? 1 second here. I'm gonna play you guys music, rejuvenate my throat, and we'll start in the next game in 2 minutes. Probably less.
Greetings, Exalted One. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Luke Skywalker. I know that you are powerful, Mighty Jabba. I seek an audience with your greatness to bargain for Solo's life.
Just relax for a moment. You're free as a carbonite. Have hibernation sickness.
I can't see. Where am I?
Jabba's palace.
The game is alive! This is live. Welcome to the Weekly Dagger. I am so happy to have you here, and let me bring the webcam back online here. And for people who are OCD, I got rid of the tag on my glasses, but in return, there is a tag that is on my hat instead. Does that make you feel better, or does that make you feel worse? Alright, later Flash for the win. Thank you for joining in on the stream, of course. That's my co-caster who will be joining me in the round of 8. Gonna be so glad to have him back. I need my friend, I need my buddy to be able to cast with the best of my abilities. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, so the PvT fun is gonna continue. I have got more energy now that I have finally got my water. God, I'm sorry. Sometimes with a cold, I start to just deflate. I'm going to go chug them out and do if I have to before the next game, you know, but we'll just go to this one here. This is going to be an example of aggressive Terran play. So this is Tyson, or I'm sorry, this is Lazy versus Scan. And what we're going to see is a greedy opening by Protoss and an aggressive response by Terran. Now, there's two different responses that you could do as a Terran player. So let's go ahead and start this, because of course when it's greedy we're going to get to it really fast. But really important here, and of course what I like to do is show you guys off the map one more time. This is Fighting Spirit, close spawn. And when you've got Protoss down here and they're going to go greedy, this is what you're going to be playing at. All this beautiful region at the natural base, you know, from the bridge to the ramp. So we'll just keep that in mind as we put our blinders back on. And we shall see Lazy. So Lazy's a really solid Protoss player on the fish ladder. He ranks pretty highly, but he just doesn't qualify because, you know what? It's freaking hard to qualify for the ASL. The Africa Star League right now has so many good players. When you have TBLS back in it too, oh my god, it's ridiculous. So you can't expect like these slightly second tier players to do as well to qualify every time. And unfortunately, on top of that, we're going to have players that will only benefit from either lesser leagues that are invitational, like the SBB Star League, or there needs to be a team league. So while clan leagues do happen and they do stream and they get donations from their streams by being good personalities, the huge issue is if they're not the best personality, they really need something like a team league. I think that we're going to get it in 2017. It may not be in the form or fashion or the desired way that most of you guys would want it, but I really think that there will be some sort of team thing that will be worked out. So I'm just calling it ahead of time. I'm thinking mid to late 2017 though. So don't get your hopes up right away. There's a lot that still has to be worked out in the Korean scene. But the money's there. So whoa! Why did I call this greedy? Well, this is called the old-fashioned 12 necks. So what you do is you put the pylon down. That's it. Simplest opening ever. So you put the pylon down, build your probe count up to 12, drop down the 12 necks, and the Protoss player then says, okay, peace out. I'm going to scout with this probe. I don't even need it for economy because it's going to be ridiculous. So this is a barracks expand. This isn't the same barracks supply depot expand that Scan was going for in the last game. This is more standard. You're going to see the barracks up on the high ground, a couple Marines that might get pumped out, and then the left. So this is very fortunate for Scan though, because he's going to be scouting in the correct direction, and he's going to see that the Nexus is here. So at this point, this is your thinking point right here. So I mean, let's I wish we could take the vision away here. So you can see that just now Scan's looking at it and calculating in his head. There are two options that you have when you're going to PvT, and as a Terran player you respond to the 12 necks. So your first option here is to go with 6 to 8 SCVs with Marines and Vulture and Cheese. So yes, you could wait for a Vulture to come out, you could send SCVs over, and you can go with your Marines. And who did this in the Africa Star League? Someone tried to do it. I think it was Light. So what was that game? Or was it Mind? Man, I'm thrown off here. I think it was a Light versus who did he lose to? Stork? No. Okay, but there was a Terran player in the Africa Star League that basically said, oh, well, I'm losing on benzene if I don't stop this. and then he went ahead and sent all his units out, and they ended up dying, and it didn't work out because his timing was off, and he lost 6 to 8 SCVs. Oh my god. So the other thing that you can do instead is you can skip the one vulture and have the chance of getting a tank out. But behind this, you go for bunkers. And you bunker rush. This is what Flash does. This is what he popularized. And what you do is you make a faraway bunker. You may not be able to make one specifically by the Nexus here. Let's see what Scan does here, where the bunker placement is going to be, because we don't want to have any guesswork here. But what you're going to do is you're going to basically hopscotch bunkers towards your opponent here in response to this Nexus. You want to pressure it at just the right time. So I think he's going to build a faraway bunker that's out of the vision of this Nexus. So this is all he's seeing right here. But on the other side here, let's change the vision up. We're seeing that there's nothing seen at all. How perfect is this? So he hasn't found his opponent. He's only scouted to the top right. He doesn't know what's going on. The first gateway's on its way. It's got to start a unit immediately if he wants to be able to deal with this. But instead, he's going to wait for a Dragoon. So this is as greedy as Lazy could get it. Oh, let's even up this vision here. Scan, what have you been doing, you dirty bastard? Alright, so a Marine coming out already sent out. How many SCVs sent in response? Instead of a massive amount, just 3 more SCVs have been added in. It's going to be Marines that are continuing to go. And this is actually a Siege Expand build. And just off 1 SCV now, which is more of a fake double style. You can see that the factory on its way, and let's see. Oh, this has been seen. This has been seen at this point. So another bunker's coming down. There's too much going on, isn't there? So this bunker's the safe bunker in case a Zealot came out. Since a Zealot did not come out, and now it's just being built, it's not even, it's just halfway done. This bunker's on its way. The SCVs are going to help out, and the Marine can go ahead and start to pressure on these probes and maybe get some early kills. Behind this, we got to see if the machine shop will get added in terms of getting tanks. So there's focus right now. The SCVs, the Marines piling in here, and instead of chasing off those probes, it's more important that he cripples the economy by taking out this Nexus at the natural. Because he really wants to take away this economical advantage. So the Zealot can't pressure in here. It honestly can't do anything. And Lazy's in a lot of trouble. A lot is left to be desired here. So one Dragoon's going to come out. He doesn't have range spinning here. And he's actually going up to the Citadel. So this may be a breakout contain with DTs. That might be the follow-up with Lazy. I mean, we've seen this type of thing in response with a Protoss player before here. But this is going down so inexpensive, so efficiently, and that was very adequately punished. You only need to keep a few SCVs here to kind of repair on the back. I like that he took away the 4th one and left 3 there. Meanwhile, this probe being out on the map, this looks like it could be, yes, DTs. That gateway out just really guarantees it. But Scan, he does have a Vulture. He does have the ability to kill off DTs because Spider Mine research has been prioritized here. So with Vulture Mines is, oh my god, so 2 gateways out on the map, and it's going to be double DTs. And the Templar Archives is just starting and underway. This is pretty fun here. So the Spider Mines are going to be done in time. This not being seen. Oh, wow! This is unheard of. Are you guys kidding me? 3 gateways out here. I don't know how Scan's going to be able to deal with this, but he's got to not be surprised. This is really important for Lazy here to block off this ramp, not let anything up above. I think that actual contact stations would be really nice right now too, just to be able to scan and see inside the base. But I think this is just a predictive response from a Protoss player. So definitely, if I was Terran, I would be on edge right now, trying to figure out what's going on and where do I need to place Spider Mines. So 3 Spider Mines already burned. 1 Vulture is just sitting on empty at this point. There is this tank that's coming on the way too. So there will be that pressure continued at the natural base. So much delayed mining here. Oh my god. So the first DTs do come out. And they are on the way. This is going to get really intense for the Terran player. No turrets, no engineering bay, no scans. It's just a spider mines. Oh! And we're actually getting scanned in the chat here, so I'll read off his messages in a second here too. So that SCV comes down, the command center denied. There is, he can't really block off these DTs. They make it inside the base here. Okay, so the engineering bay was finished. It's got to be completed at the back here. It was lifted up. And let's see, I was checking out for proxy, including 9 and 6. Okay. Or I was checking out for proxy buildings, the 1, 12, 11, 9, and 6. Yeah. But did you actually see that? Let's go to the vision of Scan itself himself. The one place, so the 9, the 11, the 12, the 1, but unfortunately the 3 was not scouted out. But you've got the middle and you've got the 6. This is the single spot. And so he doesn't have any vision of these DTs that are coming in here to just lay claim to his base. All right, let's free this vision up one more time because we want to be able to see these units over here as they come in here and start striking down. Spider mines are still an option. He still has pressure at the natural base. If he can't hold on here, he still has a pretty nice advantage. But a lot of SCVs could go down. Wow, two DTs going to work inside the main base. This is making it tough. The spider mine gets swiped right away too. This spider mine looks like it might go down. Oh my god. So even with the spider mine hitting, this is just so tough. And unfortunately, it looks like this is going to be the loss. Wow. Everywhere else was scouted except for that one specific location. A ballsy play by Lazy, and somehow he manages to pull that off. That's just really unfortunate. You know what happens after you play a game like that too? Is next time you scout like the 3 o'clock right away, but that like may delay your usual scouting pattern where you would scout all the other bases, and then that's where the proxy is. It's always the one you don't look at. It's just like this rotating mental mind game that is really tough sometimes. And, you know, Scan was really, really diligent, as you can see, where he scouted out on the map, how much has been revealed. But unfortunately, just that one slips by, just by the tiny little edge. What an incredible turn of events. Okay, guys, quick break, about 1 minute. I'm going to drink some more water. Then we're going to go into this game of Scan versus Bisu. And the notes for this game, let's see. This is called Scanny's Biotank Style. And if he's in the chat, then I'll read off his notes as we watch this game. And that will be fun for us all. So just hang tight for 1 minute as I recuperate my voice. And then we'll...
Luke's crazy. Can't even take care of himself, much less rescue you, buddy. A Jedi guy. Oh, right now.
Alright, and a little bit of a Star Wars mix in honor of the late and great Carrie Fisher. I think we're all a little bit stunned by her passing away. Unfortunate events, of course. Lots of great people have died in 2016. And this has been a rough year personally, too, if you guys don't know. My father has passed away this year. My dog of 16 years passed away this year. My wife's cousin passed away this year from cancer, and she was only 26. And then on top of that, my wife's other cousin has just been diagnosed with cancer also. And so, I mean, we can't like get past this year fast enough. Only a couple more days left, and you know, I'm sorry to bring in like a little bit of a sad tone. We'll push forward with a Bisu versus Scan game because you know what? There has been one great news though. I had my 1-year wedding anniversary. I've got a little Bisu Ling on the way too. That's due in June. My sister had a early baby, but only a couple weeks early, and so that was a Christmas Eve surprise. So congratulations to her for that baby sprouting out. So as one goes away, another one comes in. We're just replacing life with life, and we're having a great time. So things don't end, they begin. I don't know. Is that philosophical? I hope you like that. I don't want to come off cheesy. Alright, so we're going to go to a Scan versus Bisu game. And let me go ahead and open up my notes here. Yes, so this is Scanny's Biotank style. My unique style. It's one-time use build against opponents. Okay. Perfect. So I love the teaser that came in for this style. Let's see. But we'll just continue it and cast as it goes. Let's takes this a little bit regularly. Yeah, Bisu Ling. Bisu Ling is like my hybrid baby. It's a hybrid. I'm a Protoss, my wife a Terran. I know. I don't know why I tell you guys that she's a Terran. Why she chose Terran? I don't know. She likes to be cheap. She likes easy wins. She likes tanks. Some like stupid reasons. There's no good reason to like a Terran, but go ahead and throw them out there if you want. Every good reason to like a Protoss. I say that as Scan is the one who provided me with all the Terran replays for today. So again, thank you. Alright, now Scan is considered a Korean player now. He's moved to Korea. He actually tried to play in the qualifiers, did really well in both the Africa Star League 1 and 2 qualifiers, but did not make it in because, God, the player pool is absolutely ridiculous. So when this is a Korean weekly, and he does indeed qualify for that. He's a really good player. I mean, I think he might be underrated because he just falls in with the foreign category, but I mean, he could be nearly unbeatable when it comes to him versus foreigners. Which is one of the reasons why he will not be allowed to compete in the Fight Club League. As much as I would love to have like I want to just create a league where it's called Scan Versus, and every week people just try and foreigners just try and defeat him. And because I really liked what he was doing, like the best of 15s or something versus foreign players, where only one win it took for them to win the best of 15. I mean, those were pretty awesome. But no, unfortunately, that doesn't exist. But you know what will exist? The KCM Legend matches. And Scan, I know you're there, so go out and get hired by Kongdu. Join the Kongdu company. I know that you're up there to go into the army, but join Kongdu first. And outside of that, I just want to see you play in some pretty cool matches before you have to go serve your time. Go into the military where Bisu goes in the military. You and him can be BFFs, right? Unless you don't like the guy. I don't know too much about Bisu's personality, but he seems chill. So Protoss scouting to the top right. Let's focus on it. This is PvT deep dive, right? Okay, so opening up here, Bisu has cybernetics core spinning right away. Going to be that gateway expand. Of course, we can see. You know, I just love the color here on this tile set. It just blends in so perfectly. And when I try and shift tab, it just makes things worse, doesn't it? Bam. So we won't go with that. The factory expand coming up. A couple Marines starting to pop out. And we can see that after the factory has been built, only one SCV mining from the gas. So no two fact, just a standard expansion style play from Scan here. Bisu's got the probe camped on the ramp. Those Marines won't have it. They're going to get him out of the house. And now the rack's just lifted and lowered, but nothing else offered here. Oh, my glorious Husky joins me in for the cast. Not Husky the caster, though. Husky the BisuDagger, of course, here. No probe sending back here, too, at home. Dragoon there to chase it away. Don't growl at me. Oh my goodness. This is a mess. Dogs are always a mess. So, okay. Yeah, very interesting here. So Bisu did not go for the 1-gate expand, as I just kind of wrote it off as a standard every time. Bisu dropped down a second gateway. So we're looking at a 4-minute timing with this second gateway dropping in here. There's going to be double the amount of Dragoons that are popping out. And behind this is probably a good opening for Scan because he has the factory already finished. And he's going to be getting a tank out with siege mode pretty quickly. If Bisu goes heavy Dragoons right now as a follow-up, which is general for the 2-gate opening, then this will be defended, at least in the early game. And there's a lot of minerals that are lost when you have to keep constantly repairing that bunker. So the faster you can get that tank out, the better. Man, these dollar sunglasses really pinch the head. I feel like they're just carving into my brain here. There's going to be a little bit of brain mucus flowing out from the ears shortly. But that's neither here nor there, is it? Okay, so this Dragoon, a little bit drunk. And if you watch the Carbot animations with StarCraft 1, I mean, they hit these on the dot here. But that drunk Dragoon just kind of pokes its way in and works its way back out again. Bisu is building himself a little bit of a wall of units out at the front. This command center is going to be done shortly here. The Nexus follow-up here. But like I said, are there going to be more Dragoons? I think there was just a slight delay on Dragoons because that Nexus had to come down, had to get to 400. But only Star, aka Bisu, is also starting to work towards tech. So the factory has to come down. Very, very important. Oh, excuse my mouse there. Every once in a while, this mouse gets stuck. And when I drag it around, it just rips me across the screen. So the tank on the high ground here has a perfect vision. And even without siege, you can actually hit pretty far on these Dragoons. Some pretty good damage coming down. Some health damage was actually taken here. And so with 2 siege tanks and just a couple Marines out the front, Bisu really doesn't have anything that can pressure and push for this. It's because he did decide to go for the robotics facility instead of getting another round of Dragoons. I think that he would have been able to pressure in here. And he's really trying to see that the command center was going to land. Because as a Protoss player, if you don't see that command center, you're thinking that there's 2 factories and like a massive cheese that's about to come out, more units than maybe you anticipated here. But look at this. This is crazy. So this is why it's called Scanny's Biotank style. So 2 more barracks have been dropped down, and there are players that go TvP with Bio. They mix it in here, and so this is a really cool play. The scan's coming out. I do like that scan has dropped down the Comsat stations. Going to be very important here. Stim on the way too. As you can see, the academy is in the back here. Meanwhile, what's Bisu got in his pocket? Lots and lots of Dragoons, of course. He does have... Every time I click on here, nothing's building. How is Bisu getting units? How is he getting units if every... Okay, there we go. Thank God. Build stuff when I tell you to. Alright, don't disappoint me. So Bisu's got 8 Dragoons. That's a pretty solid force early on here. But Medic, Marine, Storm, the Observer isn't out across the map yet. It's just now coming out. This is one of the things that you sacrifice here too when you do go for 2-gate, is the later Observer. So now that the Observer's out, it's not going, you could have an Observer right now sitting over these Marines, and this build may have been kaput. I think that this is actually the best case scenario for Scan, because of the later Observer. He's able to start sneaking in this cheeky bio play. Now Bisu may write it off. He may see 5 Marines at the front, and he could scan kill the Observer too. And only with 5 Marines, that's not a major concern here. And maybe he just built more than one. So the stim and the attack, and he is gonna get it. Oh, perfect. And the elimination of that one Observer prevents Bisu from seeing inside here. And this is almost like the Deep 6, if you guys aren't familiar with it. Deep 6, you eliminate this tank from play, you add an additional barracks, and then you just go heavy bio early on to try and win the game. So this is like Scan's Deep 5. Deep 5 fact, I guess, is what you would call it here. But still, look at this. Already 5 tanks out. and a decent amount of medics. Really, you need more medics than you would normally, and like a TVZ, because there's such a spread of fire that the micro between Dragoons could be maybe focusing across many individual units, and so having the extra extra medics there is going to be really important. Okay, but here comes the push out. Lots of micro intensity right here. It's going to be really important. Both players operating over 300 APM as this push continues to come out. Dragoons in a total of 8. So Bisu at this point knows that this is going to be a heavy bio force. He sees that Scan is really trying to win this game off this play. Everything is getting macroed up. Do we see an engineering bay? That's what I want to see. So there's no engineering bay to upgrade the Marines. It really stops at this. Just these barracks and that single factory. Not another factory being added in. All the minerals and gas going into just units at this point for Scan. Meanwhile, behind this, Bisu, he's got to respond. So he's responding with 2 more gateways, because he already had a total of 4 by the time this attack actually began. He doesn't have a 3rd base, so he's actually going 2 base Arbiter, and so this is going to be really tough. But behind this, because he does go for 2 base Arbiter, he can actually get maybe DTs out if you wanted to, and DTs could kind of lay waste to these units, especially if he can spread them out where there's no vultures, there's no spider mines, so he really just has to burn 2 base worth of scans while he tries to match up against this. So this is a delay tactic here, clearly from Bisu. He does have an exit from the north if he wants to run his Dragoons over there, but he's just trying to slow down this army and make him go for the chase here, as Scan is going to push pressure up towards the north at this time. I think Bisu realizes that he just has to win this engagement here to win the game, and so both these players aren't even thinking expand, they're just thinking pure army. A lot of units heading towards the right here, and all these Dragoons are still just camped out in the middle. It's going to take a really lucky stim in to get these units, but Scan's really trying to work his way around to eliminate this bottom army here too. A nice placement by these tanks. He's got a couple up in siege mode on the north area, but this is going to be... Oh, the Reaver came out. The Reaver came out. Did I miss that? Oh man, I missed it. So that's the other response to bio, is just get a Reaver out, because Reavers decimate bio pretty quickly if you can get the Scarabs to attack. So 1 Reaver out, and he's just trying to slow push that Reaver in there to pick off important units like the SCV. So now this shuttle cannot be harassed by a turret, but it can still be hit by the Marines, especially if there was a nice stim in there. It could be taken out pretty quickly. The Dragoons on the right side too. A lot of action coming on from both ends. We can see that the left side, Bisu is still trying to pressure over here too. A lot of Dragoons getting caught off guard. The stim forces on the right doing a great job. The 2 Dragoons only escape from there. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, the Reaver trying to poke in here. A nice tank snipe, but Scan, he's still got a lot of forces out on the map. Bisu's pushing over towards the right to do some counter pressure. Meanwhile, he just has Zealots out at the front. That's not going to be enough. It slows Zealots also too. But look at this. The reinforcement's going to get blocked off. Will he be able to get the shot? He gets the Reaver. The Reaver, that's equally important. So the Reaver taken out. The Dragoons forcing in here. But there's so many Marines out at the front. Bisu's got the Dragoons still trying to manage the base, the units that are pushing out of Scan's base here at the natural. Wow. So the Protes have been pulled away from this natural base of Bisu. Bisu doesn't have too much, but he does have a Reaver on the ground, slow pushing its way forward because the shuttle's not there. These Zealots have speed too, and that's also very important. So while you would typically expect Vultures and Spider Mines to soak off these Zealots here, the Zealots are going to be able to engage them pretty quickly. Scan behind this though, he's losing his natural base. He can't reinforce at this point anymore until he deals with this force, which is 5 Dragoons, 3 Zealots strong. A lot of SCVs coming in here to fight with the tank to try and regain this low ground pressure. Behind this though, +1 is finally on the way for Scan, as he does want to try and strengthen it. Okay, so a DT does come out. A DT does come out. And it forces 1 scan. So, how many scans are left? That looks like a full concept station here. Okay, so there's 5... Oh, what is my math here? 4, 6, 7. 7 scans available. God, that's a lot of DTs and a lot of money. That's going to be lost for Bisu if he tries to go with just pure DT. Knowing the scans are available, he's not going to try and make that push. This is a red shuttle. It's a Yunjun, if you know that joke. And the Reaver here is going to be really risky play. Look at all of these bunkers. The tanks are hunkered down here. Scan is just trying to feel it. He's got the bloodlust. Meanwhile, another observer has been picked off. A nice scan over there. The units are coming from the left, though. Okay, so Bisu's going to try and bulldoze his way, and he's going to lose so many units from the right, but the left has double Reavers. The Zelt's pushing forward. A DT that's still alive here, too. Oh, but as he gets the shuttle here, the Reaver gets killed off too. So 2 Reavers. Wow, what a build. Scan, you are a monster. That was quite the play here, and we see Scan taking a win off Bisu. It's looking good for Terran, guys. Looking good. God, Terrans, you have everything in your arsenal. That was a fun game. Alright, hang tight. I've got one more game. This one's going to be a fun one here. And it's one of those special games that we added in. So basically Scan says, this is a good one. I thought you'd have a lot of fun with it. He took this idea for his build from Haya. A build that he used to qualify for the Africa Star League against Harang 2. And he also used it against a foreign player called Baneth. And one of the Russian tourneys, probably Defiler tourney. So we're going to run into this fun game, and it's going to be a normal style cast, and nothing's going to be slowed down, and we're just going to end the night on a high note. So hang tight. I'm going to play a little bit more music and get ready for the next one.
You may laugh, but the shit is serious.
You tell that slimy piece of worm-ridden filth he'll get no such pleasure from us. Right? Java,
Oh man, this song is too good.
free us or die.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Weekly Dagger. If you're just joining in, we're going to be going into the last game real quick here of the night. It is going to be Scan versus Wicco Disco, and we're going to just call him Wicco Disco. We're going to abbreviate it. I'm going to give it every which type of nickname possible, WD, whatever you call it. I thank you all for coming in here. Thank you for participating in the chat, talking with me, hanging out, having some fun. I appreciate it. Come watch me on January 2nd, of course, for the Africa Star League Season 2. So this is going to be a little bit of more like what you would get from me when I normally cast. Of course, I do have a cold that I'm getting over. I hardly have any bit of my throat working, but I will try and make this work anyway. So I'm going to mute up real quick to clear my throat, and then we will continue forward. and this hat This hat is ridiculously hot, so we're losing the hat. Okay, we're good here. Stretch it out, everybody. Power pose. Power pose. Put your arms in the air and stretch them up. You can conquer the world. Alright, let's do this. And welcome you all, of course. If you've never watched my show before and you just see awesome names on Team Liquid like Bisu, then I welcome you. And I hope you haven't been swindled. We'll keep this show as real and fun as possible. Apparently that hat was actually blocking a glare that is produced by these glasses. Whatever, I'm ocular flared for this cast. We'll keep it that way. What a great set of games we've had so far in the Africa Star League. It's been absolute blast here. I mean, really, we've seen just great games from Rain, who got eliminated but made it to the round of 16. Gwimchi making all the way to the round of 8. Rush playing some pretty solid games in the round of 16 was a great surprise and a little bit of a treat. And then unfortunately he just kind of fizzled out in Group C, where Bisu, Hero, and Last did not disappoint in the excitement stages of the game. Okay, so let's start focusing on the rest of the game here. Oh, it's just a lot of talk going on. I wonder if this is just some random trash talk. No one understands what language that is. That's not proper Korean. What's going on here, fellas? But the standard pylon opening. I hope you guys are getting your fill of PvT, because you're gonna need it. You're gonna go a couple days fasting before January 2nd comes around. And might not be able to get your English casts in between then. But of course I do have old Weekly Dagger episodes that are a lot of fun if you want to go watch those too. My Christmas special episode was about as unprepared as possible, but still a lot of fun. Just kind of threw it together there. And I drank some wine, ran around my room a little bit, did some exercises, played with my Dragoon. Yeah, I got a Dragoon here. Oh no! One of the Dragoon's legs fell off too, so I gotta fix that. Let's see if we can go ahead and do some immediate surgery here. Yes. Yes. Yep, that's how that goes. You can see I'm so riveted by the early game. Sometimes though, and that's why Flash for the win when he joins in on my cast. It's gonna be a lot of fun having him around. Okay, and so well, yeah, I was gonna say this is low gas early on. Don't you need enough gas to at least get your factory out? Scans on top of it though. He added 2 more SCVs in. Obviously the one that built the building starts mining that gas right away. But let's keep an eye on it as soon as we get to that gas count. He's gonna start that factory up. So the factory underway now too. And generally you see 2 SCVs taken off. It's been really rare that we see like a true 2-fact play. Fake doubles have been way more common. It's almost like we could just call it you know, 1 factory expand instead. But you got to keep an eye on it. A couple Marines getting pumped out. Just add to the defenses here. And the range upgrade, also an early Dragoon coming out before the Nexus. And we actually saw in the Bisu game that a second gateway was dropped down, so a couple Dragoons could be brought out for early pressure. That last game from Scan was very aggressive, and it added in bio. So what are we expecting out of this? Let's see here too. So this is actually going to be another bio style play that was stolen from Haya, and so let's see how aggressive this timing is going to be. Another factory being dropped down too. So with the 3 SCVs mining, this is actually, as I said, it's 2 factories off this 1 base. The key here is the fact that you can see all the SCVs that are mining. So this is going to be data that has been gathered from our Protoss player here, and so Mr. Disco is going to know that he's going to need to drop down a second gateway instead of going for the Nexus, so that way he can build an adequate army to defend his natural when he does finally expand. Well, he's putting him in a pigeonhole here, and a robotics facility coming down. I wonder if the robotics facility is going to be used on the defensive end too, or just going to be used to deal with vultures. How many bioforces we got out here? 3 Marines just so far, a 4th Marine added in here, and still, even if a 5th Marine does come out, 5 Marines isn't anything too unusual. 6 Marines actually is that key number that you want to mix in with a couple siege tanks and vultures to really go for that pressure on the Protoss player. So 3rd gateway been dropped out, a 3rd gateway, and behind this, the observatory. So this is a 3 gate obs opening for Protoss. It's a pretty strong opening, and it's really the proper response to what Scan is going for. 3 tanks brought out right now, 4 Marines. Is that the end of the Marine production? It really is. So just 4 Marines. Scan making me a bit of a liar here. He doesn't want to waste any more minerals on getting those just weak bio units here. 1 actually taken out right here. I think one of the Marines might have been killed off, so let's not discount. There were 5 at one point, but the Dragoons did some early game damage here. This one almost getting killed, down to 11 health. That got a little close here. So the vultures starting to kind of pave their way out. Look at that, just like line of spider mines going right up into the base. Nothing is going to be sneaking up and getting inside there. He is completely safe. So and this is not Bisu right now. I did not update Team Liquid. I'm sorry if you're coming in here. The Bisu game just finished up. We've moved on to Wiggle Disco versus Scan. And this is some 2-fact play coming out right now. And oh man. So a lot of Dragoons out here to deal with these spider mines popping down. Wicca Disco showing down some pretty good micro. And this is just going to push everything back. Again, look at this. This is 3 gate, which is going to allow a lot of flexibility. A Zealot comes out here, and the Zealots are really just kind of like spider mine soakers. They're kind of damage soakers. They're not meant to do anything on the offensive end, but really just kind of like be something to be like a meat shield. Oh, the Dragoon running in there, and I wonder if this is like purposeful drags. Yeah, he was trying to get the drag of the spider mines in on top of these tanks. If he can get within range though, yeah, he is within range, but the Dragoon did not have much health, and everything got cleaned up there. I think that was a huge investment from Disco here to try and take out these tanks. A lot of Dragoons went down, and I don't think that the trades were fair. But there is no additional command center. This is still sitting off 2 factory. The push has been squashed so far. And the Nexus is coming down. A double Nexi. So the natural base has a Nexus here. The 3rd base. And this is a pretty solid response. Meanwhile, the command center is coming down pretty late for Scan. And he's got a little bit of an uphill battle to go with here. So where is Scan going to go from here? It's just going to be all about vulture play right now, especially since with the loss of those Dragoons, the opportunity for Disco to start going towards the economic game, you know, all these vultures can start to poke in and maybe pick off probes and just at least apply some pressure. This is why it's really important to have a group of Dragoons out here to defend the 3rd base, especially since he can't pile and wall it off. This 3rd is the most vulnerable for a short period of time. And I like this too. Of course, double mining, you only really need 1, but a double mine is just as equally effective here to help identify when the 4th base timing is going to come out for the Nexus, and to prevent it for a little bit until an observer comes over. That's never too troublesome though, especially since we saw that observer was finished. Behind this, a Citadel dude on the way, and that's just working towards that Arbiter tech. You would imagine, at least, that it is going to be Arbiter tech when you see this little Dune coming down, but that could be for speed. We could still get lucky. We could still see carriers off this too, because the option to go for this, to go for the minerals only instead of the 4th, instead of the expansion down here to 6 o'clock with the gas, indicates that this could be more of a carrier style instead of an Arbiter. So we've got to take that into consideration too, and that's what we'd be thinking. Wicco Disco. I do not know if that is Lancer X, but Wicco Disco has been rated an amateur B ranked fish player. So unless Lancer X has achieved a B rank on fish, then I do not believe it is him. But I could always be mistaken. Scan provided this one to just be fun though, not one of the top players that you'd be seeing in Africa Star League. Yeah, I like that he cleaned up that spider mine. Not very effective there. Okay, so keeping an eye out, 2 more gateways drop down. Total of 5 gateways off these 3 bases. The probe count is up to 51, which is good. This is where you should be at this 10-minute timing. You should be in the 50 to 55 probe realm, depending on whatever losses you may have taken earlier on in the game. Yeah, so some people are voicing an agreement with me, and this can't be Lancer X because this player's rated a little bit too highly here. Alright, let's see. Scan should have taken the gas natural instead of the mineral only natural. I'm confused by that statement, so I'm going to pause. Should have taken the gas natural instead of the mineral only. What do you mean by that? He does have the gas natural. The third base, or you mean right now as the command center is coming out, maybe? Okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're working through this together. This is a community effort here, and I do miss things, so I wanted to make sure we actually understood that here. Oh man, Andromeda. Yeah, okay. You've got the Andromeda strain problem, don't you? That's alright. Put your head down in a bunker for a little while, like a nuclear ostrich, and come back up hell here. So the Stargates here, double Stargate, and the fleet beacon are going to indicate, and the spinning upgrade, that it will be carriers. Oh, I say something right. So carriers are going to be on the way. The expansion's coming down towards this 6 o'clock base here. The follow-up, because of course he got all these beautiful extra minerals to be able to go for the early interceptors. Meanwhile, Scan is just working his way up towards the 12 o'clock base. But does he know it's carriers yet? What kind of information does he have? He knows that the well, he's getting a starport here. And this is all looking very standard so far. But look at this, the barracks. Look at the barracks coming down. Wait. I just heard a scan too. I just heard a scan. So scan with the scans, Wicco Disco. We're gonna make you blind. What does Scan see so far? So Scan has not looked inside of this base. He doesn't know anything. He has a very little information at this point. All right. Let's play this out. Let's play this out. So somehow he is sensing, though, that this is carriers because of the third base. I think that he's just going off the same whim that I'm going off of. And he's dropping down another barracks! He's dropping down another barracks! Son of a bitch! 5 factories, 4 racks. Oh, this is getting absolutely insane. Let's bring back the vision as we continue here. This is getting nuts. Okay, so Mr. Disco, you've got this upgrade that's about to finish up. You've got the carriers that are on the way. And Scan behind this, he's responding with another barracks! We're up to 5, 6, 7, 8 barracks! Oh my goodness, this is like turning into a Dr. Seuss book. Meanwhile, the expansion coming down, the Nexus over here, a 5th base, the Scan. So Scan sees it, and well, let's get the total. Let's get the final count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe there's supposed to be more. Unless my intel is wrong here. Let me see here. Let me read here. Yes. So the amount of factories here is variable, but yeah, five 5 factories, and there's supposed to be 10 racks, but right now I'm counting 8 unless I'm really bad at counting. You know, ghosts could come out of this too, the science facility being done and all. That could be fun here. And what does Wicco Disco see? Let's take out Scan's vision here. So he has an observer. There is an observer right in the middle of this mix here, and he sees that all this bio is coming out. So what is he thinking? How is he going to respond to this? The carriers are out here too. I would love to see him go, okay, well, let's just throw down Reaver Tech. Let's get that support bay and start dealing with the fact that there's going to be a ton of bio coming out here. But this is the Goliaths, Marines, and tanks all in this mix, so this is getting absolutely out of control. This is not Bisu who is playing right now. For those of you who are concerned, this is Disco versus Scan. I'm sorry, this was a last game here. I did not have Wicco Disco on the ballot for the games today, so Team Liquid has not updated quite yet. I do apologize here. The Bisu game can be watched as soon as I'm done with this cast. You can go ahead and watch that VOD. It will be available immediately, and I'll add it to YouTube. Okay, so Scan is going crazy here. He's stimming with these Marines, trying to defend here as the onslaught comes in here. You know what? These Marines are doing quite a bit of damage. And God, all the tanks all the Dragoons are taken out. +1 on the tanks, +1 on the Marines. So this is looking pretty solid so far. 149 supply to 158. That number was very different just a minute ago here. But remember that there's carriers that are still out and alive. So it's Zealot carriers, really, that are mixed up in here. All the Zealots are heading over to the left. Oh, the Congo line ran its way by. They don't care where they're going. Abandon the third, abandon hope. These 2 forges, though, that's actually huge. You see, this is the one time where you see that shield upgrade is going to be prioritized over armor because it benefits the carriers. But the carriers here, oh my God. Okay, so there are a total of 2 right now. They're kind of in the middle and not a really good micro spot either. The hull can get hit, and I'm surprised that no damage has been taken. But remember, stim on interceptors eliminates interceptors nearly immediately because they just do so much DPS. So now you've got worthless carriers that can't even attack because they're constantly rebuilding. There's nothing left to stall this. As the bio continues to push forward, the natural has been run over, ransacked, the third has been eliminated, and really, Disco doesn't have much to defend this army as it continues to creep upward. This is the beauty of a mobile bio force. Because you don't have to rely on the tanks to slowly push in here, you can just go ahead and easily move the Marines up and in. There's a lot of units out here in the middle of the map, though. Reinforcements getting cut off. Remember that there are 3 more bases for Wicco Disco as he does continue to engage this middle army. Oh, the interceptors. The interceptors are starting to gather. They're starting to gain power. But really, oh, you see another one goes down. It's just so beautiful how much DPS comes out for these battle forces. Storm! Storm, come down! Stormu! But not going to be enough. You know what? He may actually have to end up morphing those High Templar. No DTs coming out here. Arbiter coming out late. Oh my God! Oh my God! Look at that stasis! My God, that looks wonderful. It's almost like a mineral field itself. What if you could start mining from stasis units? That would be absolutely wicked. But nope. We are just seeing here the Arbiter's going down really quickly too because there's so much anti-air. The carrier's finally catching up. Again, 2 carriers coming out here. But remember, there was a switch over to the Arbiter play to deal with this. The carrier's just not playing out very effective even though they haven't died yet. They are just worthless. The stasis here is preventing a lot of units from being able to get up here easily. Excuse me for my word mumble. And the DT does nothing. Okay, so stasis is over. No storm ready to go down here. And it looks like Wicco Disco is still in a lot of trouble because he doesn't have the ability to macro very well out of these bases. But he is queuing up all the units possible outside of these gateways. Meanwhile, back here, he does have a few more gateways built up. Scan's about to run out of minerals at his main base. And his natural base is starting to get pretty low too. He's going to need a third. Speaking of, he is starting the long distance mine. So the push coming out here, you just, or not a third base, a fourth. You just kind of want to have that fourth command center. But he can always lift the command center too, if he decides not to build a new one. Oh man, so much technology is going to get eliminated right here too if it can be focused on. Remember, the Arbiter Tribunal is in here, the Templar Archives, the couple of Stargates are right in here, Arbiters on the way. I can't believe that Wicco Disco was able to get Stasis out so quickly. You know, our Arbiters out with Stasis available energy, because it's an incredibly expensive spell to cast. So, the Terran army, not much else to say here, really starting to take over. Another DT here is starting to get in. Alright. Someone complaining about an Imba race here? Who's the Imba race? You can go Bio and beat Protoss, did you know that? Oh, look at this. If you're confused, if you just came in here, look at all the barracks that have been created. And this is just a glorious formation of units that are starting to push out here. +1, +2, Gauss rifles, only giving out 8 damage, but still are pretty killer. They're going to be able to stem in here and do a lot of damage pretty quickly. Scan is not dropping down a scan right here. Oh, no, he does. Now he does. So he's going to be able to finally take out that one Dark Templar, which was playing out as a nuisance here. He knows that he has to be very, very cognizant of those DTs. But that may be the last remaining one that he can build, though. Let's look at the technology inside this base. A lot of gateways have been dropped down. A lot of minerals have been mined for this Protoss player to be able to drop those down. What is this going to be? +3 attack here? No, just +2. So not a lot of good upgrades for the Protoss army either. DTs still exist inside this main base. And Scan, for whatever reason, has decided that he's not going to attack into this bottom left-hand corner, is going to leave these Stargates alive. The Marines pushing down towards the south. This has become a less and less important base too, but still nice to have because it's, you know, giving the Protoss player a third gas here. This is a struggle regardless. Protoss has so much in the arsenal between Storm, DTs, Archons, and between the mix of carriers and Arbiters that we've seen, can really hold off this trove of units at this point. I think that because Scan doesn't have that additional gas quite yet, and kind of weak in the tank game here, only 5 tanks are out. Lots of tanks can be made though, right? I mean, he can get 3 tanks at a time, but it's really just pure bio coming out here. And I think that Scan needs to add in a few more if he wants to effectively push in here and deal with this Gateway army. Oh, the High Templar is going to go down. Oh my god, how does it stay alive? How does this guy stay alive? No focus right here. So this is a nice siege line coming back. The 4 tanks on the right side of the bridges. Now, this has somehow been like, maybe this is like one of those upgraded pylons that are supersizing the units, giving them faster attack speeds. You know, StarCraft campaign worthy level stuff, UMS style. Somehow though, the Protoss is still hanging on. Meanwhile, these Stargates exist. They can be used in the arsenal at any point here too. Oh! Oh, baby! Oh, baby. I had to pause this. Nuclear silo. Nuclear silo. 1 on the way. Wow. Okay. So, is there a ghost? Is there a ghost? There's 6 ghosts. There's 6 ghosts that are out on the map. Oh my god, we found them all! Okay. Woo, everybody's getting excited. Okay. So the ghosts move in, the scan goes down. There is vision though. There is vision. This is going to be tough. Look at them running in here. Where's the observer? The observer does come in. The ghosts, they die so easily. They die so easily. They have like no health. 45 health. It's so weak. It's such a squishy unit. This is getting crazy. Wow. Oh, it's not that I missed the ghosts. I knew the ghosts were out there. I didn't see the turret, and I didn't see the nuclear silos yet. And I'm doing Korean level caster hype. Alright, so let's move back in here. Oh, man. Hey, these are my ocular implants. I need the sunglasses. I'm all about the future, baby. Where is the nukes gonna come down though? So this finished, right? This finished? Right. Oh, here it goes! Here it goes! Oh, it's up in the air! Okay. So where is it going down? Where's your best guess, guys? We gotta find the dot. How do you find a dot here? Okay. So it's on this right here. And here it comes. This is your focus ghost. There's your dot right there. Now that it's blinking. I apologize for the sniffles. You gotta bear with me. I do have a massive cold. And here it comes! Massive damage. Death and destruction to the ghost itself. I love that without the range upgrade, that ghosts just kill themselves when they launch nukes. How pitiful is that? Okay. So, yep. Another one is going to have to come down, though. Don't stop not launching them here. That one's on the way. When is this one going to be launched? Let's keep an eye out here. Oh, this pitiful group of Marines here still attacking over towards the right side. Gateway units still pushing out. Scan's kind of losing the grip here on the game. Somehow, we're seeing Wicco Disco hold on. We're not seeing anything, are we? So it would be nice if there was a little bit of a patch to make nukes more viable. I think that would be a lot more fun if we could see Ghost Nuke play. That would change the late game just a little bit more here, but unfortunately we do have the issues with it. Nukes are so damn expensive. Look at this, Zealot's just running in there, just tearing things up so quickly. +3, +1 though. Man, with Stim, that's an insane amount of DPS that comes out. Marines can just wreck house, can't they? So not a lot of units though. 11 Zealots so far, 2 Dragoons, 1 Archon, but a lot of High Templars that are going to be joining in with this army here. And you know what? Ghosts can come in here and pick off these High Templar pretty quickly, especially if they cloak. So there's going to have to be a lot of map awareness for our Protoss player Wicco Disco if he wants to not lose this High Templar. There's a small army that's getting ready to push in here. This is going to be really hard to take over, especially with the Marines down there at the bottom. I love that! Scan does that perfectly. He stims the Marines in. The SCVs come over to heal, or to repair, but unfortunately they don't repair in time. There's a lot of units down here inside this 12 o'clock base. Scan going to be able to hold this. This is getting close. Oh my goodness. And Wolf the Noob, what's up? I have been here. I was here. It was Christmas break. I had to take a break. So other than that, I had a cold. I got sick. Oh my goodness, it's been a disaster. But I did have a Christmas cast last Thursday. If you missed out on that one, quite a fun one. But of course, this is like the most insane TvP. This is putting the ASL to shame. Oh my God, those storms! Those storms are wrecking everything. Look how many tanks are getting hit. Oh, the Bioforces. Can they succeed here? Wow! Wow, this is worse than watching plagues on Bioforces. This is just ridiculous. But still, somehow Scan pushes forward. Yeah, you're watching it. You're not drunk. This is a PvT with Bio. 10 racks up in this mix here too. I counted 8, but Scan promised me 10. Whoa! Did we catch it? Did we catch the missile in time? Where? Or has it not come up? No. We should have seen it. We should have seen it in time. Okay. Now we need to pause and find it. Okay, here's the ghost. Here's the ghost. We found it. That was quick. Alright. Alright. There's nothing else more important than watching out the props die! Yes! Death and destruction! GG! Oh my God! Yes! Oh, why don't we see nukes more? Oh my God, what an ending to the day. Guys, this is the Weekly Dagger. I am BisuDagger. Come join me for the ASL. C versus Bisu. You'll get hyped more than that. Yes, we will. What an ending to the day. Scan, you're the man. Woo. All right. So what a fun game that was. Thank you all for coming in. I'm sorry I didn't announce that the Weekly Dagger was coming on, but I'll be back next Thursday. So 9 o'clock, sign that up on your calendar. There will be more casts. I promise you, I'm coming back full storm. And I'm going to get some current, more relevant replays like this. These are current. Scan throwing these out pretty recent too. So that's a lot of fun. Thank you for providing us with those. And I think that I can get some more replays from Zero for next week. So Zero versus whoever we want to see. Flash, Jaedong, Bisu, Shuttle, Sharp, and anything else mixed in between. And that will be a lot of fun. Guys, if you have any questions, throw them out now. Otherwise, I'm going to play some music, watch the highlight video, and we will be done with today's cast. Thank you so much again for watching the Weekly Dagger. Please tune in on the ASL coming on January 2nd. I love and appreciate your support. Now back to the Star Wars mix to close out the night.
That's right, R2. We're going to the Dagger system. A promise to keep. An old friend.